Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we're going to continue Sting, the Scorpion Man. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. Chapter 8, The Tomes. They raced down the steps into the yawning blackness of the tunnel. Tom yanked hard at the two long loops of rope that hung on the inner side of the trapdoor. Creaking and groaning, the door heaved slowly upwards and then came crashing down into place. Tom, Elenna, and their companions crouched in the gloom and listened as the guards ran into the courtyard above them. The muffled voices drifted down through the trapdoor. "What was that noise?" one said. For a moment I thought the master's castle was crashing down about our ears." "Sounded like the trapdoor," grunted another. Tom held his breath. What if the guards worked out that they were intruders underground? A third guard scoffed. "The only way to open that door is with a team of men, and some of the monsters' most powerful horses. It'll be the giant, no doubt, kicking and screaming below ground." Tom felt Elenna tense beside him at the mention of Arcta. "You'll not be bothering us for much longer," said a fourth voice. "Come on, we need to find out what that noise was. Let's check the outer walls of the castle. Maybe something has collapsed there." Tom listened to the retreating footsteps as the guards left the courtyard. "What did they mean about Arcta?" Elenna asked Elenna asked once everything was silent. "I don't know, but time is running out," Tom said. "We need to move." He looked around at the tunnel. There appeared to be only one path leading away from the trapdoor, and it was lit by flaming torches. The walls were rough, and pools of water lay in puddles on the ground. Tom, Elenna, and their animal companions raced through the twisting passageway, which sank deeper into the ground with every turn. The sides of the tunnel grew smoother as they ran on. And Tom noticed with a chill the tomes that had been set into the tunnel walls. He remembered Curlo's words. These were the catacombs. The place where the Gorgonians of the western city buried their dead. As he ran along, he couldn't help but read the names on the tomes by the flickering torchlight. Menmon, Arentus, Crestar, Exurops. Taladon? Tom stopped dead at the smooth black tome bearing his father's name. His breath caught in his throat. Taladon wasn't dead. He was Malva's prisoner, wasn't he? Tom, Elenna turned and came back up the tunnel to where he was staring at the black tome. He held Storm's bridle tightly in one hand and Silver locked behind her, his eyes gleaming in the torchlight. "What's wrong?" "I have to open this tome, Elenna," Tom said fiercely, drawing his sword. "There's no time, Tom," Elenna said. She seized his sleeve. "We have to save Arcta." Tom shook off Elenna's hand. His father might be lying here, right in front of him. He took a step back and smashed the bottom of his sword into the face of the tome. The stone cracked. Tom slammed his sword into the tome several more times until it buckled, revealing a gaping black hole, but there was nothing inside. The tome had never been used. Elenna grasped Tom's arm. "We have to hurry." Tom was about to reply when the red jewel on his belt began to glow, and his head was suddenly filled with Arcta's voice. The mountain giant was telling him once more that he was finding it hard to breathe. Tom whirled around and stared down the tunnel. He suddenly understood Arcta had been buried alive in one of these tombs. Tom was filled with remorse. Why had he stopped to open Teledon's tomb? It had been a selfless thing to do, and now Arcta's life was truly in danger. Tom knew that he would never forgive himself if they were too late. "Arcta is in real trouble," he said to Elenna. "I've got to go." "Hurry then, we'll catch up," Elenna replied. Tom raced down the tunnel, using the speed given to him by the golden leg armor, and left his friends far behind. The walls blurred around him, and the tunnel suddenly opened up. Tom skidded to a halt. He was in an underground chamber with a low roof. A massive tome, like a great stone mountain, stood in the center of the room. A name had been carved in huge letters in the tome's side. Arcta. Tom's head pounded. He could sense that Arcta was weakening. There wasn't a moment to lose. He pulled his sword from its sheath and smashed it repeatedly into the side of the tome. The echo of steel against stone boomed around the chamber. But the stone of this tome was much thicker than that of Teledon's, and even with his huge strength, Tom couldn't break the tome open. Tom couldn't break the tome open. Then he spotted a ledge just above the tome. If he could just get onto it, he could then try to lever the tome open with his sword. Tom thought rapidly. The golden boots gave him the power to leap to great distances and heights. He bounced his legs beneath him and jumped into the air, kicking off the giant tome for an extra surge of height. With a thump, he landed on the stone ledge above the tome. He then drew his sword and desperately started to lever up the lid. Very slowly, it began to give. Tom worked hard, sweat pouring from his brow as he focused every drop of his magical strength on opening the tome. At last, there was a gap wide enough for him to see into it. Arcta lay very still, as if he were unconscious. His one great eye was closed. He was breathing in short, shallow gasps. Tom could see that he was bound by two huge silver chains that crossed over and around his whip. Let me read that again. After I drink something. Tom could see that he was bound by two huge silver chains that crossed over and around his vast, shaggy body. With one more massive push, Tom shifted the lid off, and the two men stood on the side of the casket. He raised his sword above his head and brought it down on one of the chains that held Arcta. But the blade bounced harmlessly away, the impact sending fierce vibrations up Tom's arms. He tried again and again, but he soon realized that the chains were enchanted and would not break. Tom could feel despair threatening to overwhelm him. How was he going to free Arcta? The sound of cantering hooves echoed down the tunnel, and Storm, Elenna, and Silver raced into the chamber. "I can't do it, Elenna," Tom panted, shaking his head. "My sword isn't strong enough to break the chains." "Don't lose hope, Tom," Elenna shouted up to him. "Remember the gift of the golden chainmail, strength of heart. You must believe in yourself. You must believe that you can do it." Tom lifted his sword shakily above his head. Closing his eyes, he concentrated with all his might. He could feel the magic of the golden armor pulsing in him. Bringing the sword down with a yell, Tom cut clean through one of the chains, which slithered away away from Arcta's body like a silver snake. The mountain giant's eye fluttered open. "One more blow and you'll be free," Tom promised, and raised his sword for the second time. But before Tom could bring his blade down, a hideous jet-black tail came crashing through the chamber's wall. Sting. And that was chapter 8, the chambers. Tomes. Well, that was cool. Oh, I forgot to show you the artwork in here. There's only one picture in here. That is Taladon's tome. That is empty. Which kind of didn't make sense at first until I read the fourth series. Yeah. Kind of didn't make sense until the next series. Why there's an empty tomb in this book with Chaladon's name in it. Kind of didn't make sense until the next series, but guess they were setting that up. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this chapter of Peace Quest. The tomes. I keep forgetting. Ugh. Yeah, the tomes. And I hope you like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos. And I hope I will see you next Tuesday, where we continue with Beast Quest. Is it 9 or 10? I keep forgetting. It's 10, okay. Next chapter, and then the other 2 more chapters to go. I don't know how to end the video, so except to tell you guys to like and subscribe if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos. That part I got down, I just don't know how to talk after I read, so hope you do like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and I will see you guys in the next video on Tuesday. Right, bye bye.